the New Super Mario Brothers or New Super Mario Brothers U graphics, but it was hopping between different Mario engines. I'll be interested to see how many of those there are. But it certainly looked fascinating. I'm very excited for that. That looks like a really cool idea. And we talked about this for a little bit during the stream. Nintendo isn't in the best position with third-party developers it's ever been. They're actually having a lot of trouble getting third-party developers to develop for them. So we're seeing a lot of these more innovative titles. We're seeing games like Hyrule Warriors, which I don't think we would have seen a while ago.
Nintendo would have let somebody else touch their IP.
Right, and Bandai Namco is developing Smash Brothers. That's another point of note. The Xenoblade Chronicles that they showed, that's pulling a franchise just out of nowhere, like out of forever ago. So, Mario Maker sort of is another shift in this direction. This is a different thing for them to do. It doesn't feel like huge, monolithic, super successful Nintendo. And they segued into a piece that I think was maybe not the most exciting, but the most interesting thing that we saw during the presentation, which was called Splatoon.
Which I thought was Mario Sunshine because they showed the squids, but I was wrong.
Right,
but still happy with what it was.
Right, and essentially a 4v4 competitive third-person multiplayer shooter.
A Nintendo shooter.
Yeah,
what they'll call a shooter.
Because there's a thing that you're shooting something out of, but it's not violent. You have a ink gun because you are a squid. You are an anthropomorphic squid. You can either walk around or switch into squid form. You shoot paint on the environment around you, on the geometry. And once paint is on that geometry, you can switch into squid form and swim through it really quickly. You can swim up walls, up inclines, through your area. And your entire team has one color of paint. The other team has a different color of paint. The objective is essentially to cover... That's what I got from it.
An X amount of time, cover the map.
Yeah, have the most paint on the most geometric objects in a span of time. When you are a squid, you can move through your paint. When you hit theirs, you go to human, like the anthropomorphized squid form, and you get stuck in their ink, and you move really slowly through it. There were different weapons. There was a gun.
Brush.
Yeah.
There's
a big roller brush that you could move, like you could run around. It felt kind of like a vehicle.
Like paint grenades, something that looked like a giant bomb.
Yeah, it looked like a paint nuke. It was a huge swirling vortex of paint. There was also a paint bazooka, for lack of a better term. It looked incredibly fun. It looked really innovative. It doesn't look like the sort of thing you would normally see in a Nintendo console, and that was the sort of segue that we were leading with. Nintendo is having to innovate. They're being forced to.
Not on their terms, where they say this is the future. They're allowing other people to do that for them, which is something they never really let happen.
Right.
So if it didn't come from Miyamoto and it didn't come from somebody else, it's
they're partnering with people because they have to. The developers that are hungry and interested are working for them, and doing really exciting, interesting, different things. It's a really interesting time to be a fan of Nintendo. But in short, they're not continuing to throw effort after foolishness. Nintendo, I think, is aware that it's in sort of a thorny position, and this Nintendo Direct conference didn't really get bogged down in that, but they showed stuff, and new stuff, and interesting stuff.
And stuff we wouldn't expect.
Right. Absolutely. I would never have guessed, if you had shown me footage from Splatoon, I would have guessed that it would have been...
a Steam release?
Yeah, a $15 or $20 Steam download. Not on a Nintendo console. The stuff that they've been doing, the blowing the Captain Toad's game into a full game, that's interesting. That's different. I don't think they would have taken a risk on that a little while ago. The Yarn Yoshi game, maybe. but it looks amazing. It's the sort of thing they need for the Wii U. The Zelda was inevitable, but the fact that they're cranking on it and we're going to get it in 2015 doesn't feel like Nintendo. Like Nintendo, I feel like would normally be like, you'll get this when you get it. It might be 5 years. Yeah. Just they're doing smart, they're doing interesting things, and they're reaching back into their history, which is something they really need to do. I mean, again, Xenoblade Chronicles, nobody's talked about one of those games in forever. And speaking of games that no one's talked about in forever, there was a leaked video earlier today of Miyamoto.
It was a picture.
It was a picture. That's right. It was a picture of Miyamoto doing something on the floor. He was holding a Wii U pad, and you could see in the background, you could see ground and sky, and something in the middle of the sky. And at the end, they cut away, like the conference is over, and then like sort of move into a boardroom, and you see like a guy in a chair holding a Wii U pad, and it turns around, and it's Miyamoto. And he was playing...
You should say it. I think you want to say it.
I might say
How bad do you want to say it?
Pretty bad.
Just say it.
Star Fox! There's a new Star Fox, and it's on the Wii U, and it is a flight sim. I mean, he's flying. You can see blurry footage in the background. It's definitely it. We zoomed in on the photo. It's playable on the show floor. There is a Star Fox that is coming to the Wii U, which is a perfect fit. Because that thing, the Wii U pad, you throw your HUD there, and it's tilt, like...
Or just the mini-map and just have it ping up enemies for you.
Right. There's so many things you can do with that, but that feels like a flight yoke. You know? Like, They showed a new Zelda, which we knew was coming, but we had never seen anything on, and a Star Fox. And they showed it in the same conference, and they did it in 45 to 50 minutes. To be honest with you, I really think Nintendo just killed this year.
Yeah.
They don't spend too much time on the Smash Brothers and the Pokemon because they know they don't need to. But Smash Brothers, Pokemon, the Yarn Yoshi, the Zelda, and Mario Maker are all... You're definitely going to buy those games. Like, those are the kind of games Nintendo fans are going to buy. The Star Fox is going to be amazing. Hyrule Warriors is going to be the first Dynasty Warriors game I ever buy. Nintendo just showed straight first-party content